The year was 1989, a year that would be etched in history forever. The Berlin Wall, a symbol of division for decades, crumbled under the weight of people's aspirations for freedom and unity. This monumental event marked the end of the Cold War, a period of intense geopolitical tension between the Eastern and Western blocs. The United States, having stared down the Soviet Union, emerged as the world's sole superpower, a position it had been vying for throughout the 20th century. It was a time of triumph for democracy and capitalism. The future seemed bright, filled with endless possibilities and opportunities. The U.S., with its unparalleled military might and economic prowess, stood alone at the top, a beacon of hope and progress. It had the world's strongest military, capable of projecting power across the globe, ensuring its dominance in international affairs. Its economy was the largest and most dynamic, driving innovation and growth on an unprecedented scale. American culture, from Hollywood movies to blue jeans, spread throughout the world, influencing lifestyles and aspirations. The American way of life seemed like the model for everyone to follow, a dream that many aspired to achieve. The collapse of the Soviet Union created a vacuum in global leadership, a void that needed to be filled. The U.S. stepped into this void, eager to shape the world in its image, promoting its values and ideals. It promoted democracy and free markets, believing these were the keys to peace and prosperity. It intervened in conflicts around the world, sometimes successfully, sometimes not, but always with the intent of maintaining global stability. The U.S. was the architect of a new world order, one where it held the reins of power, guiding the course of history towards a future it envisioned. The 1990s saw America's global influence reach its peak. It was a decade of unprecedented growth and cultural dominance. The U.S. economy boomed, fueled by technological innovation and globalization. The rise of the internet and personal computing revolutionized industries and everyday life. American companies became global giants, their brands recognized worldwide. Corporations like Coca-Cola, Nike, and Apple became household names across the globe. From McDonald's to Microsoft, American products and services became ubiquitous. Fast food chains and software companies symbolized the American way of life. Militarily, the U.S. remained unmatched. Its defense budget dwarfed those of other nations, ensuring its dominance on land, sea, and air. The Gulf War in 1991 showcased American military superiority. The swift and decisive victory demonstrated the effectiveness of American strategy and technology. The U.S. and its allies swiftly defeated Saddam Hussein's forces, liberating Kuwait. This operation was a clear message to the world about America's military capabilities. This victory solidified America's image as the world's policeman, ready to intervene wherever freedom was threatened. The U.S. was seen as a protector of democracy and human rights. American culture continued to captivate the world. Television shows, music, and movies from the U.S. were consumed eagerly by international audiences. Hollywood blockbusters dominated the box office, exporting American values and dreams. Films like Titanic and Jurassic Park became global phenomena. Pop stars like Michael Jackson and Madonna became global icons. Their music and personas influenced fashion, dance, and culture worldwide. American fashion trends set the standard. Brands like Levi's and Tommy Hilfiger became symbols of cool and casual style. The world, it seemed, wanted to be more like America. From education to entertainment, the American way of life was highly sought after. However, beneath the surface of American dominance, new challenges were brewing. Economic disparities and industrial decline hinted at underlying issues. The seeds of future competition were being sown. Countries like China and India were beginning to emerge as significant players on the global stage. A resurgent Russia and a rising China would soon challenge the existing world order. Their economic and military advancements posed new threats to American supremacy. The age of American unipolarity would not last forever. The world was on the brink of a new era, where multiple powers would vie for influence and control. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 left Russia in a state of turmoil. The once unified superpower fragmented into multiple independent states, and Russia, the largest of these, faced an uncertain future. Its economy contracted sharply, and its people faced hardship. Hyperinflation eroded savings, and unemployment soared as industries that had been state-run struggled to adapt to a market economy. Breadlines and poverty became common sights in cities and towns across the nation. The once mighty superpower was a shadow of its former self. The military, which had been a symbol of Soviet strength, now faced budget cuts and declining morale. Abandoned infrastructure and underfunded projects were stark reminders of the past. Yet Russia still possessed a formidable nuclear arsenal and a desire to regain its lost status. The remnants of its military might were a double-edged sword, providing both a sense of security and a heavy financial burden. Under Vladimir Putin, who rose to power in 1999, Russia adopted a more assertive foreign policy. Putin's leadership marked a turning point as he sought to stabilize the country and restore national pride. Putin sought to restore Russia's influence on the world stage. He engaged in high-profile meetings with world leaders and participated in international summits, projecting an image of strength and determination. He cracked down on dissent at home and projected military power abroad. Domestic opposition was met with a heavy hand, and the state-controlled media helped shape public perception. Russia's interventions in Georgia in 2008 and Ukraine in 2014 signaled its willingness to use force to protect its interests. These actions drew international condemnation, but also demonstrated Russia's resolve to assert its influence in its near abroad. However, Russia's economy remained weak, overly reliant on oil and gas exports. Fluctuations in global energy prices had a significant impact, and economic sanctions further strained the nation's financial stability. Its military, while still powerful, lagged behind the US in technology and capability. Modernization efforts were hampered by budget constraints and corruption, leaving the armed forces with outdated equipment. Corruption and a lack of innovation hampered Russia's progress. The influence of oligarchs and bureaucratic inefficiencies stifled economic growth and technological advancement. While Russia remained a significant player on the world stage, its ambitions often outstripped its capabilities. The nation continued to navigate a complex geopolitical landscape, balancing its aspirations with the realities of its economic and military limitations. Section 4. The Dragon Awakens, China's Global Ambitions. While Russia struggled to find its footing, China was steadily rising. Embracing a market-oriented economy while maintaining a communist political system, China experienced unprecedented economic growth. It became the world's factory, producing goods for consumers around the globe. Chinese cities modernized at a breathtaking pace, with gleaming skyscrapers and modern infrastructure. China invested heavily in its military, modernizing its armed forces and developing advanced technologies. It expanded its influence in Asia and beyond, securing resources and building infrastructure through its Belt and Road Initiative. China's economic and military might translated into growing political clout. China's rise presented both opportunities and challenges for the world. It became a major trading partner for many countries, driving global economic growth. However, China's authoritarian system and assertive foreign policy also raised concerns about human rights and regional stability. The world watched cautiously as the dragon awakened, its full potential yet to be realized. Section 5, Silicon Valley to the world stage, the rise of tech giants. As traditional powers jostled for position, a new force emerged on the global stage: technology companies. From Silicon Valley to Shenzhen, tech giants like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Alibaba amassed enormous wealth and influence. Their platforms connected billions of people, shaping opinions and influencing consumer behavior. These companies held vast amounts of data, wielding unprecedented power in the digital age. They developed artificial intelligence and other cutting-edge technologies with the potential to revolutionize industries and reshape societies. Governments and traditional institutions struggled to keep pace with the rapid advancements in the tech sector. The rise of tech giants blurred the lines between the private and public sectors. Tech companies found themselves increasingly entangled in geopolitical rivalries and debates over privacy, censorship, and the responsible use of technology. The world grappled with the implications of this digital revolution, uncertain of its long-term consequences. Section 6. The Future of Power, a Multipolar World? As the 21st century unfolds, the global power balance is in flux. The unipolar moment of the 1990s has given way to a more complex and uncertain landscape. The rise of China, the resurgence of Russia, and the growing influence of tech companies have created a multipolar world where power is more diffuse and contested. Predicting the future is a fool's errand, but several scenarios are possible. Will the US maintain its position as the leading superpower? Will China overtake the US as the dominant global power? Will we see the emergence of a multipolar world order with several centers of power? Or will the digital revolution upend traditional power structures altogether, leading to a new era of digital technocracy? Section 7, Scenario 1, the American century continues. One possibility is that the US, despite facing new challenges, will find a way to adapt and maintain its global leadership. The US still possesses significant strengths, including its innovative economy, powerful military, and enduring alliances. The US could focus on strengthening its alliances, investing in innovation, and addressing domestic challenges to maintain its competitive edge. It could leverage its soft power, including its universities, cultural influence, and democratic values, to maintain its global appeal. However, this scenario would require the US to address its internal divisions, restore its global credibility, and adapt to a changing world. It would also require a willingness to work with other nations and institutions to address global challenges.